There is nothing more frustrating than learning a language for years, maybe decades, and not being understood when you try to speak it. If that has ever happened to you when speaking French, don't worry, it's not your fault. Chances are the French that you learned at school or college was all about formal written French, and spoken French is very different. To help you be better understood when speaking French, let's revisit some of my most popular videos so that you can learn a handful of very useful French fluency shortcuts. This way you can improve your French even faster. Ready? C'est parti! I've been teaching French for many years now, and what students ask me all the time is, how can I sound less English and more French when I speak French? The truth is, the French accent is very diverse and there is no one way to speak French. But there are some tips and tricks that you can use to sound more authentically French in your own conversations. Would you like to learn what they are? In today's lesson, I will teach you some of the most common mistakes that students make with their French accent, and I will give you some tips on how to fix them. In French, words are stressed on their last syllable. So we say, for instance, une Parisienne, and not une Parisienne. Repeat after me, une Parisienne, une Parisienne. Or in a simple sentence, demain, on ira à la bibliothèque. Tomorrow we'll go to the library. Repeat after me. Demain, on ira à la bibliothèque. One more time. Demain, on ira à la bibliothèque. Good. It's not something like demain, on ira à la bibliothèque. That would sound weird in French. Stressing the end of words is a first step to sound more French and be better understood. Another mistake is to try and pronounce all the letters in French words. As you know, there is a ton of silent letters in French. For instance, these are pronounced vu. Vu, it means seen or views, with a silent E and a silent S. Vu, vu. We also have le printemps for springtime, le printemps, with a silent P, a silent S, and you don't hear any N or M sound either. Le printemps, le printemps. Or les Champs-Élysées, with a lot of silent letters. I made a whole lesson on this particular avenue that you will find in the blog post for today's video alongside the full transcript for this lesson, extra resources, and more fun things that could not fit in today's video. You can find it at the link below this video and it's all free. The most common silent letter is obviously the S at the end of a word. It is often the sign of a plural, as in un ami, a male friend, un ami, and des amis, friends, with a silent S at the end and a liaison in the middle, des amis. We also have the E in feminine words, as in une amie, a female friend, une amie. And if we add a plural, we have des amis, several female friends, and the S and the E are silent, des amis. And in everyday spoken French, it's even worse. In daily conversations, we cut a lot of E, even sometimes in the middle of a word. Like, je serai là à 8 heures, je serai là à 8 heures, I will be here at 8 becomes je serai là à 8 heures, je serai là à 8 heures. And even je serai là à 8 heures, je serai là à 8 heures. Yes, this is a very common everyday pronunciation. We also cut the end of some words to shorten them and even drop some of them entirely. For example, the negation in ne pas, where it loses the ne. So a correct sentence would be je ne serai pas là. But in everyday spoken French, it sounds more like je serai pas là, Je serai pas là. Je serai pas là. Now, I could make an entire lesson on silent letters in French, and actually I already did. You'll find more about silent letters in today's blog post for the lesson and also when to cut words in French. But for now, I just want you to remember that often in French pronunciation, you should rather pronounce fewer letters than all of them. But really, should you even concentrate on pronunciation in the first place? Here comes our third mistake. Sometimes you shouldn't even spend too much time on pronunciation. By that, I mean that French sounds are just too strange. You know, like the French R in le riz doré for golden rice. Le riz doré. You can even notice the silent Z here. We also have the U and the OU sound, as in le mur for the wall and l'amour for love. And the nasal sounds, these ones are very scary for students. We have le ton for tuna, le ton. Le temps for time, le temps. And le printemps for springtime. We also have the E and the E, as in la reine du jeu d'échecs, the queen in the chess game. La reine du jeu d'échecs, where we have an E sound, we have a E sound, we have a E sound and another E, and they're not even spelled in the same way. Unfortunately, all these sounds are very common in French. Each one of them is a specific issue that you need to master. And yet, don't concentrate too hard on their pronunciation, or rather, don't start by concentrating on their pronunciation only. Because the key is to hear the difference. I've seen many students try to practice their pronunciation before they could even hear the difference, and obviously it doesn't work. But once you can hear the difference, the pronunciation will get vastly easier. Like, which sound am I doing here? Is it on, or un? We have le bon. We have le bain, and le banc. Do you know? Yes, it is le bon with the on sound, le bain with the un sound, and le banc with the en sound. You will find the translation for all the examples in the blog post for today's lesson, as well as links to all my lessons about the tricky sounds in French. We also have OU and U, remember. So which sound is it? Le but, le bout, and j'ai bu. Can you hear the difference? We have le but with the U sound, we have le bout with the OU sound, and j'ai bu with the U sound. And finally with et and e, which sounds can you hear? In je and j'ai. We have a sound in je, which is I, and we have a sound in j'ai, I have. In le and les. We have a sound in le and a sound in les. Both mean the in the singular and plural form. Then we have un T et une T. Can you hear the difference? Un T, une T. For a T and a pillowcase. Un T has the sound E and une T has the sound E. And with all the combined, je cours dès 8 heures. I start running at 8. Je cours dès 8 heures. And also, j'ai cours de français. I have a French lesson. J'ai cours de français. Did you hear? Je cours dès 8 heures. We have a sound, a OU, a French R, E, U, E, and the French R again. In j'ai cours de français, we have a E sound, a E sound, a nasal en, and E. That's a lot. Of course, it takes some time, but practicing your ear on purpose is really going to be key for you to be able to say all the sounds properly. Now, this is not easy. You will make mistakes, and this is part of your own accent. And this is why you shouldn't obsess over it, which is mistake number 4 out of 5 for today. You probably have your own accent, and don't worry, it's cute. You only need to be clear enough so that people understand you. That's the important thing, not having a perfect French accent. And just like everything we've seen before, it comes with practice. With any kind of active practice, you quickly realize which sounds and which words make you struggle. Practice can be as simple as reading French aloud or talking to your dog, your cat, or your goldfish in French. Or you can get to the next level with the French Conversation Club. It's my Comme une Française program that is completely concentrating on making you practice. You will get a ton of help with everything we've mentioned today and much more. Jump in the blog post to learn more about that. Practicing your French in a program is going to help you with our last mistake for today, which is neglecting grammar and vocabulary. Because really, that is how to sound authentic. Using everyday informal vocabulary with your friends can go a long way into making you sound like more than a tourist. It can be as simple as using words such as chouette for nice, chouette, or les potes to mean friends, or les fringues for clothes, which would be les vêtements in common French, or even j'ai la dalle as an informal way to say j'ai faim, I am hungry. You can also say je suis crevé to mean that you're really exhausted, like in je suis très fatigué in common French. I am very tired. Je suis crevé. And you will fit even better with informal grammar. Things like cutting the ne in negative sentences, using tu instead of vous with potential friends, or by learning everyday expressions such as quoi de neuf, quoi de neuf for what's up, or dans le coin for around here or literally in this corner. Or by learning how to ask a question in an informal manner. The formal, correct way to ask a question can be a bit complicated in French. You know, something like est-ce que tu es là? Or es-tu là? To mean are you there? Or où es-tu? Where are you? Well, you will sound more French with more informal grammar around questions, and it's also easier for you. You just need to add an inflection to an affirmation. Tu es là, you are here, becomes tu es là, are you here? And to get this even better, you can say t'es là, because in informal French, we cut the U at the end of tu, that becomes te. T'es là. And when there is a pronoun like qui for who, or quand for when, or où for where, etc., you can do the same by adding this word at the end of a sentence. So, où es-tu for where are you? Où es-tu becomes tu es où? That becomes t'es où? T'es où? Where are you in informal French? Or with quand. Quand venez-vous? When are you coming? Quand venez-vous? You do the same, you replace the vous by a tu to make it more informal, and it becomes tu viens quand? Tu viens quand? When are you coming? It is a very simple way to sound more authentic in French. And so much more effective than trying to get the perfect French accent before anything else. Repeat after me. Paris, with its silent S. Paris. Paris. And now, France. France. Another one. La rue and la roue. La rue and la roue. And at last, un bonbon with a nasal on. Un bonbon. un bonbon. It's a sweet or a candy. So can you pronounce these French words correctly and with the right accent? A lot of French sounds are very difficult to pronounce. So today let's use a few previous lessons to help you nail your French pronunciation. I'm Géraldine, c'est parti!
The French R is the worst. It is the consonant that you hear in la girafe, or un ours, And students seem to struggle a lot with it. It is even worse than with le U, for example, le U sound. And even if you've been learning French for 15 or 20 years, lots of students are still struggling with it, even if they speak French almost perfectly. So today let's see how much it matters and what you can do to improve your pronunciation of the French R. Here is English actor Daniel Radcliffe using a sentence in French.
Rejoignez-moi sur le nouveau site de première.fr.
He says, rejoignez-moi sur le nouveau site de première.fr. Rejoignez-moi sur le nouveau site de première.fr. Meet me on the new website of première.fr. This is a magazine that now moved online about cinema. Did you hear it? His R are more R's and they're not really French, though we completely understood him.
Rejoignez-moi sur le nouveau site de première.fr.
So, is it important to pronounce the French R perfectly? Well, not that much. I'm going to give you tips on how to improve your French R in a bit, but first I really want to reassure you. You can speak French almost perfectly and still struggle with the French R. People will understand you, and this is what matters. It is just part of your accent because some people are going to say it much easier than others. And it is not a source of embarrassing mistakes or misunderstandings like U and OO can be. These are really tricky. If you want to build connections with French-speaking people or French culture, the perfect R will be less useful than knowing more about polite everyday expressions and customs and culture, which will help you sound much better than a simple tourist in Paris. And yet you might feel frustrated that you're not able to pronounce the French R like your Parisian friends. And this is perfectly understandable because the French R is very difficult to pronounce for English speakers. So what you need to do is lift up the back of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, just between the hard palate that is more at here and the soft palate which is at the back. R, r, r. Give it a try. R, r, r. Yes, it is basically a gargle, and you can try with Paris. Paris. Try. Paris. Paris. French singer Edith Piaf was really good at this.
Paris, c'était la gaieté Paris.
You can achieve it by practicing with the sound G first, because the tongue placement is very similar. Pagui, pagui, pagui. And please don't let me sound ridiculous on my own. It's a safe place, so you can try it too, and there is no shame in practicing. So let's do it together. Pagui, pagui, pagui. Then you place a small gargle instead of the G, and your tongue might move back just a little bit. You go from Pagui to Paris. Try. Pagui, Paris. Pagui, Paris. R. That's the sound. R. Okay. Remember, it is the back of your tongue that should stick up, not the front. It's not Paris. It's Paris. And you remember the two words that we saw at the beginning of this video? Une girafe, and un ours, un ours. And we can practice with them in a beautiful sentence, which is difficult to say. Le grand ours dorlote sa girafe préférée. It means the big bear is cuddling his favorite giraffe. And you can try to say it with me, okay? After me, actually. Le grand ours dorlote sa girafe préférée. Try. Le grand ours Dorlote, sa girafe préférée. Good, this is difficult because there are a lot of R's. Le grand ours, Dorlote, sa girafe préférée. And now I have to say félicitations because practicing is the best way to improve your pronunciation. Now in real French the R is going to be less harsh than a gurgle, but you have to practice this one first and then it will mellow into a more normal one.
Les amis, friends, France, France. Alain Souchon, Alain Souchon. Les amis français d'Alain Souchon. Les amis français d'Alain Souchon. Alain Souchon's French friends. Let's take a moment to practice together the most common difficulties of speaking French, because really, what's the deal with French pronunciation? How do you pronounce this word? How crazy can I look when making a pronunciation video? Let's find out. Les nasales. En, on, un. Will you ever be able to pronounce les nasales in French, the French nasal sounds? Yes, you will. So in English, you only make vowels with your mouth. So far, so good. But in French, we actually add our nose in the mix, and that's what makes the nasal sounds, well, nasal. Let's practice together. Let's take a simple word, bobo, bobo. It is a child's word to say a small scratch, or I think you say an owie.
Allô maman bobo. Allô maman bobo.
Bobo, bobo. Do you get it? Bobo. Now you're going to move the vowel O to your nose, so that bobo, bobo becomes bonbon, bonbon. It goes to the nose like that. Bobo, bonbon, bobo, bonbon, bobo, bonbon. Actually, you're moving your tongue to the back of your mouth again, so that the sound has to go through your nose instead. Bonbon, bonbon. By the way, it means sweet or candy. Bonbon. Bobo, bonbon. Congratulations! Keep practicing until you get it right. It doesn't matter that you sound ridiculous. I do. Do it in front of your mirror alone and it will make wonders. And once you have it, you can do the same with other vowels. For example, un, un, un. And we have the words mai for May, the month, main for the hand, mes, main, mes, main. Another vowel, a, en, a, en, a, en. For the words ça for this, ça, and sans without, ça, sans, ça, sans. And we have the three sounds un, on, en. Repeat after me. Un, on, en. Alain Souchon. In written French, you will find different ways to spell these nasal sounds, of course. Like with an E or an A for the en sound. En, exactly the same sound. Or with an U or an I for the un sound. Un, it's the same. And sometimes it's even worse. Un, ombre, quand, le printemps. There are some tips and general rules to be able to understand that, but let's talk about that in another lesson. For now, let's move on to le U. Le U. When learning French, people often can't make the difference between the U and the OU. The U and the OU. It's not even a problem of pronunciation only, it's also hearing the difference. La rue, the street, la rue, and la roue, the wheel, la roue. La rue, la roue. We also have dessus, dessus, over, and dessous, dessous, under, dessus, dessous. Many languages have the sound U, so that one is easy, but the U often is much more difficult. So let's practice its French pronunciation together. We'll start with the sound E first. E, E. When you're saying the E, your lips are opening like you're smiling. E, E. Now let's try saying the E while pushing your lips together at the front. E, U, I, U, I, U, I, U. La rue, dessus. Do you get it? I, U, I, U. Another way is to start with the sound OO, OO, and then shove your tongue forward at the top of your mouth just behind the teeth. OO, U, OO, U, OO, U. Dessous, dessus. La roue, la rue. Don't worry, it will come with practice. The most important thing is to start hearing the difference between the U and the OO sound. Because if you don't, it can lead to very funny but embarrassing mistakes in French, especially with beaucoup, which means a lot. Beaucoup, beaucoup. But beaucoup, beaucoup means nice but. So it would be good to make the difference. Merci beaucoup. When the sun is shining in Paris, it is incredibly common to see people enjoying a coffee on une terrasse. It is something that the locals enjoy as much as the tourists do. But when it comes to ordering their coffee, I see, or rather hear, tourists making simple and very avoidable mistakes. In today's lesson, which will be in French, I will explain the most common mistakes non-native French speakers make when ordering their coffee in France. And I will teach you how to confidently order your perfect cup like a local. C'est parti! En France, on adore le café. Plus de 2/3 des Français en boivent tous les jours. La plupart du temps, on le boit à la maison. Mais on en prend aussi au travail, à la machine à café, et on en commande souvent aussi au restaurant ou, pour se détendre, à la terrasse d'un café. Si tu veux commander un café en France, il suffit de demander « un café s'il vous plaît ». Tu auras un expresso noir, fort et réconfortant. Évidemment, n'oublie pas d'être poli avec le serveur. Le plus important, ce sont ces 4 mots magiques. Bonjour, au revoir, s'il vous plaît et merci. Si tu veux commander un café avec un peu de lait, demande un café noisette ou un noisette. Ou pour un peu plus de lait, un café crème ou un crème. On dit aussi le café au lait, mais uniquement pour le petit déjeuner à la maison avec le bol et les tartines. Dans les cafés français, tu pourras aussi te laisser tenter par un café gourmand. Un petit café accompagné de petites pâtisseries délicieuses. Et bien sûr, tu n'es pas obligé de prendre un café. Tu peux aussi apprécier un thé, une tisane ou un chocolat chaud. Pour résumer, voilà 4 phrases pour commander dans un café. Répète après moi. Un café, s'il vous plaît. Bonjour, un café noisette, s'il vous plaît. Je vais prendre un thé vert à la menthe, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Bonjour, je voudrais un chocolat chaud, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Et maintenant, tu es prête à commander un café en France. Now, let's quickly review some of today's French vocabulary. Did you manage to hear the words that I used? Did you learn a few new words and expressions? Let's recap and pick a few interesting expressions as well. I am going to review some of these with you right now. But before we dive in, you should know that today's lesson with the written scripts and subtitles are available on my website in today's blog post, as well as more resources and extra thoughts that didn't fit the flow of the lesson. And it's free. You will find the link below the video in the description. So first of all, this lesson is about boire du café, drinking coffee. Boire du café. Boire, to drink, is an irregular verb. You will find its conjugation in the blog post for today's lesson. And of course, un café, both mean a cup of coffee and a café, the physical place where you can go and have coffee. As in, je bois un café sur la terrasse d'un café. I am having a coffee on the terrace of a café. Je bois un café sur la terrasse d'un café. La terrasse is the outdoors area outside of the café with tables and everything. We've also seen several types of coffee, such as un café noisette or un noisette, a coffee with a dash of milk like a macchiato. It has the same color as une noisette, a hazelnut, but it's the only similarity. It's like un café crème that we also call un café crème or un crème, a coffee with a bit more milk or liquid cream. It's like a latte or a flat white. Notice that une crème is a cream and it is a feminine noun, but it is not the coffee we're talking about. Finally, le café gourmand with its small delicious pastries gives us another interesting French word, which is gourmand. Gourmand is an affectionate word for something that is rich, enjoyable, and often made with simple love. As a noun, un gourmand is someone who loves food. Maybe a bit too much sometimes. It is not the same thing as un gourmet who is a lover of fine foods and the art of cooking, un gourmet. There is also a popular French brand that you might like called Trois Cafés Gourmands. You will find the link to them in the blog post for today's lesson.
Et qu'on t'emmène là-bas, oubliez tout ça, les coups durs, les chagrins, ça nous fait un point commun.
I have mentioned le thé for tea, and la tisane, which is herbal tea. This is perfect if you want something more soothing. Oh, and by the way, if you just want the taste of coffee, you can order un café décaféiné or un déca. And you can do this with one of our final 3 sentences for today. Je vais prendre un déca. Je vais prendre un déca. I will have a déca. Je vais prendre un déca. Je vais vous prendre un thé vert à la menthe. I will have a green tea. Je vais vous prendre un thé vert à la menthe. I will have a green mint tea. Je vais vous prendre un thé vert à la menthe. And je voudrais un chocolat chaud. I would like a hot chocolate. Je voudrais un chocolat chaud. You can reuse these 3 structures of je vais prendre, je vais vous prendre, and je voudrais to order almost anything at a French restaurant like a local. It also works at the boulangerie and elsewhere. They're very, very common in everyday spoken French.